Hello, welcome to Innected. This is Drew with Matt, and we are happy to have you with us. Innected is a digital community for entrepreneurs where we share stories, experiences, and ideas with one another to achieve our dreams together. We invite guests through innectedpodcast.com and get together on Discord to build a broad network, to learn from each other, and find partners with similar mindsets. Come join Innected.
Hello everybody, welcome to Innected. Today we have Ankit Srivastava from India. He has been a founder and a creator of an application called MusicX. He has started from zero, basically, just with his laptop, and he has gotten to over 4.5 million downloads on the application. After that, he switched to dropshipping and e-commerce. And one of his case studies recorded over 600,000 sales in 2 years. Now, he's working on web applications and specifically email marketing. And his life has been is amazing. You're gonna hear about it. So welcome, Ankit, to the show. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And you want to share a little bit about your story. We read it on your blog, we read it everywhere, but we really want to hear it from you.
Okay, yeah. So, I started developing the app when I was in college. I think it took me 8 or 9 months to make it, or maybe a little more. And then after that, in the next 2 years, I promoted it to almost 4 million downloads, like 3.8. And like my motivation was, because the jobs here are not like very well paying. So my motivation was, like financial freedom. And I like worked, I think easily 12 hours to 16 hours a day to make the
Wow.
app and to promote it. And after that, as you already told, like I did drop shipping, and now we are developing like a Shopify app, which is for email marketing. Like you might have heard of MailChimp. So it's like a MailChimp, but specifically targeted towards e-commerce platforms.
And like, why did you get to the point where you want to go to financial freedom, right? So how did you actually discover about it?
I don't know. Like I wasn't prepared, for a 9 to 5 job, like and like just being stuck. And like my brother was in traveling, I think, like he used to watch YouTube videos. So I think that's where I got my inspiration from. That that I should also travel a bit and like explore my life.
I mean, you started 16, right?
Do you mean coding?
Yeah. When you started coding for the application.
I think I was 13 or 14, but that was from school. Like, and I was like,
all right.
after like making the app, I realized it's not something I want to do. Like, I don't want to code.
All right. And, sorry, but why is that? I mean, since we're here, why do you like? Is it not in your personality, or is there something different?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think because I don't like being stuck at, like I think it was just the burnout, like because of working 16 hours a day. And I realized that I don't want to be sitting in front of the computer. And if I do coding, I'll have to.
Wow, so you're saying that you were in front of a computer for 16 hours a day?
Yeah, I used to like even like to like since the last 1.5 years, we have been developing this that email marketing application I told you about. So even then, I found myself like I was sitting at least 10 to 12 hours a day. But
Wow.
now what I've started doing is like I've created a team of 6 or 7 people, and like started delegating most of the work to them. Even if it's like a small task which I can do easily, but still I'm trying to delegate it.
Wow. So I guess when you first started your app or your business, I'm pretty sure it didn't work out right away, right? I'm
No, it
curious.
did. It did.
It
It
did.
did.
You didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
any
yeah.
like hurdles or like hard times getting it
I mean,
out?
of course, like when I was coding, then many times I felt that, especially earlier, I felt that I can't do it. But once you start seeing that, oh, it's possible, then that's when you realize, even if it's like a big problem, then you can easily solve it. Like once you have that confidence, it's just about the fear, once it goes away, then you know that you can do anything. Like I thought, like I had many methods, I had thought about promoting the app, and my like ultimate, goal was that even if my ultimate goal was like to get 1 million downloads, but my thought was even if like nothing works out, I'll just approach like 2 or 5 million people, on internet and just ask them, to download the app and learn through it. So like thankfully I didn't have to do that.
Well, I mean that's really inspiring. Actually, that you're saying that at first you think you can't do it, but once you know it's working, you get confidence that it's gonna work out. So you
Yeah,
know that
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
work out. You just have to do the
Yeah, yeah,
work.
yeah. Like once you realize, it's not like rocket science,
Right.
then you know that you can do it. And
Right.
that's
Right.
when like once you get rid of the fear, that's when you see, okay, if this won't work, this will, like you'll throw everything at it. Not like like randomly, but okay, like all the methods and like once you believe that you can do it, then you will be able to do it.
Right. I mean, I really respect that, and the reason I'm saying is, I think once you realize that an idea that you have could actually be a reality, your idea turns out to something. It's really hard to go back and like working for someone. You can make what you think of, right? So I think that's really cool. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
I mean, you, like, if I read correctly on your blog, like, you were waking up and working and coding on your laptop. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was in
Wow.
college, but I never went to the classes. I was just sitting in my dorm room and just coding. And many times, like I used to sleep with the laptop, and many times I didn't used to brush my teeth, which I don't recommend now. But yeah, many days I didn't brush my teeth and like shower, like not at all. Just open the laptop and just start, like working on. I
That's
think
fun.
it's also like maybe it has to do something with like like obsession, and it made me realize now that it might be like OCD or something. I've not like I haven't got it diagnosed, but I think it might be something like that. On a like a minute level.
Maybe because you are so motivated, maybe
Yeah,
that's
it
why.
might be. It might be. But yeah, like a few other things, I saw that
Hmm.
sometimes like it's hard to get something out of my mind, and I keep like doing something. So it made me realize, like not like small things, but like big things like relationships or like businesses. Yeah.
That's really awesome. I mean, a lot of people would not really be able to do it. And I think that, like, this is definitely not for everyone. Uh, for sure, this is not for everyone. And,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Like especially once you have like a job and responsibilities, then it becomes really hard. But if you're like younger, then I think it can be done, but need to have a balance because I remember that uh, I even suffered depression, even like after developing the app and stuff. So it means that what I was doing was not, something stable, not something you can do for a long period of time.
So so you're saying that you got depressed after the app took off?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh wow, what did that?
I didn't work for like 2 or 3 years, I think. Yeah, so I made the app in 2014 and I didn't work for until 2017. I didn't work in like I didn't do anything. So I just traveled and did stuff, like played games and just didn't do anything. And then in 2017, I did. I got into e-commerce.
When did you get depressed though? I'm curious.
When did I get depressed?
Yeah, during that travel period, or like did that cure recover
No,
because
no,
you?
no. I think travel was to get my mind distracted. I got depressed. I think just I think in 2015 or so, like when my app was on the peak.
The
It,
reason
it, it
I'm
made me realize that that like there are many different things to life, other than just like other than just a lifestyle. You have to like create a balance of things, like go out and do stuff and things like that.
so you were kind of depressed because you were working like all that you were doing was working, I guess, and then you figured out that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, like, I'm not a very social person.
Mhm.
So, like, I was like literally for years, I was just in my room without any like proper social interaction.
Oh wow! So you're
I thought
just
like I can do it. So, but yeah, it made me realize that, yeah, for a long period of time, you have to like, even if you're like not very social, you have to be a bit social, to create a balance.
wow. So I'm curious, is that why you started traveling, or was traveling something that you really enjoyed?
I think both. I think both. It was like also to get my mind off,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
and then also because I like it.
Right. Then why I read that you mostly went to Hong Kong and I think Korea, right? Asia. Is
Yeah,
there a reason
mostly
for
Asian.
that?
No, I've never been to Hong Kong. My company is registered there, and it's for tax purposes, but I've never been there.
Oh.
I
Oh.
went to Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Korea.
Did you enjoy all places that you traveled?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah,
That's
I
good
took
to
my
know.
brother with me, like for 3 months. I took my brother, and then like, yeah,
Right. I'm from Korea, so just wanted to.
yeah, I traveled like whole Korea.
What did you like the most about Korea?
Uh, People are like really polite, and it's neat and clean as a modern country. And there, I think you can see like a good mix of culture and modernization. Yeah, and it's like very everything is like really professional and on time. I know like Japan gets a lot of credit for it, but like also Korea is on the same level. That's what I felt there, like in terms of punctuality and politeness and stuff like that.
I
What's your
mean,
favorite place in Korea?
So, I was born. I grew up in Seoul. So I kind of only been in Seoul, but Seoul is I'm pretty sure you know, but it's really it's a great place to have fun. It's like 24/7, right? You could go to a bar at like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and it's not just you. There's a lot of people, drinking, having fun at the same time. So it's a great place to have fun. And then, as you said, it's very social. People are very social. They're nice. They get together, and that's kind of a culture of Korea. I'm not sure how it is in India, but that's kind of the Korean culture. So I was assuming that you might have enjoyed that culture, getting together with the Koreans there.
I was mostly in Beijing, but I didn't. I did go to Seoul, but not a lot.
Oh, Daejeon.
Yeah, yeah, Beijing.
Oh, wow. That's a great place too.
Yeah, and like one of my favorite spot was in Yosu.
Yosu. That's where the ocean is, right?
Yeah, ocean and the mountain. That
Right,
so
right.
that was like kind of like perfect, like spot for me.
I'm pretty sure you healed or recovered. That's a great place to go.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice. How long did you live in Korea?
I was born in Korea. I lived in Korea for about 30 years. And then I came to the US for my PhD. So, education, right? Right now I have a different like thought on education, but I came to the US for my PhD and then um, my postdoc in California. So that's how I ended up in California right now. So I mostly lived in Korea. I'm originally a Korean.
Yeah, but your accent makes me feel that you have lived quite long in. Uh,
Oh, in the US. No, I lived in the US for about 10 years almost. So I try to talk with a lot of Americans. If you want to survive, you have to be like you have to know how to speak and stuff. So I tried.
like this is wonderful. But how if like right now, if you had to start over, right? If you were back to when you started coding, would you still go for this sort of extreme rhythm?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
All
I can't
right.
change who I am, and I feel like that's what something got me into like. I mean, I don't have any regrets. So, and I also realized that what I am today is because of my past. So I won't change a thing. Like maybe I might, I'm not sure, but yeah, like most probably I won't. Like I'm trying to change things now, and maybe at that time I wouldn't have realized it that I need a change or something. And if I had tried to force it, then like things might be different.
And I mean, like, what are you trying to change now? Like, what do you feel that changing? Like, what are the topics which you would be changing right now with the knowledge you have?
Like these days, what I'm trying to do is like I'm going out every day, for at least 6 or 7 hours and just having fun, like play football, just travel to different places in my city with a few friends. And these things I didn't do a lot earlier, and now like what I'm doing is like kind of making it a full-time job, like 6 7 hours, like every day. And it's and because I have set up a team, I can like easily do that. I just have to like kind of supervise and kind of do the managing. And yeah, and for that you have to have people who trust you and who you can trust.
So would you say that you're financial free now?
Kind of, but not totally. Like, but I have like a lot of hopes with this project, Innovish, which I feel like can put me on a different level. Like, I would say I'm financially free. Like, we need to move to Spain. I need like 40,000 US dollars. So I have that kind of money, but I don't have like to splurge. I can't just go out and splurge $40,000. Like I don't have any bills here. And it's common to live in India with your parents
Right,
till
right.
you are married. So yeah, it's like I don't have any bills, so I can do whatever I want.
Are your parents like really proud or happy of what you accomplished?
I don't think even I'm not like really proud of what I've accomplished
Really?
because yeah, because I don't know, because pride comes from, I feel like you won't be proud about small things, right? So pride, I feel like, comes from like when you don't have something and then you have it, you feel like, oh, you are like special, and it kind of, you divide a line between you and others.
That sounds really humble, though. I mean, you accomplished, I
So it's
think.
it's not, it's just about yourself, like I'm not
Hmm.
like a guy who believes in philanthropy or something like that. So it's not about others, it's about you. Like, so it's kind of very selfish.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but reading through one of your articles, I think I saw that you were working on a radio station project. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the initially the app I made was music app.
Right, right.
So later I changed it to, like it's still a music app, but it has now radio in it. So and it's launched and everything, but like I realized I was a bit late, because I didn't do anything for 3 years, as I said. So I was a bit late and like streaming caught up. So it's not my plan right now, but maybe in the future when I can fuse e-commerce and apps, then maybe I'll try to give it a push again and sell stuff in it like headphones and like create a brand. But it's kind of a long-term plan.
No, I mean that's great to hear. That's great to hear that you're still working on the app and that it's still like you did not go too much away from it, even though like it was not too enjoyable like afterwards, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and so like there are people who are in the situation where they are working like a lot of time a day. I do not know if 16 hours, but a lot of time a day. You said that travel worked for you. But is there something else, or like, or maybe even that, which you would recommend to people who are in the same 16-hour a day working situation to just cool off a little bit?
Would I recommend people to cool off if they're working 16 hours a day? Is that your
Yes,
question? Yes,
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 yes.
absolutely. Because you will burn out, like unless you're like really someone like Elon Musk or something, and it's not, and when it takes a toll, it's not like really good. But it's something you can do, like at the same time you can do it like for some time, but it's not a long-term strategy, for like 10 years or so. You can do it for like a 2 3 years, and then you have to pull off.
I wanted to know one thing, one specific thing about India, and that is uh, why do a lot of people actually get into freelancing and sort of wanting to achieve this financial freedom? Because I met a lot of people from India who are extremely motivated about doing all of this. Is there something special or particular about it?
No, I think because it's because of the wage difference. Because in India, if you graduate, an average job you would get is like $400 or $500 a month, which you can easily make online. Freelancing. You even if you're making $1,000 a month, then it's like much more than what you would get normally. I think it's because of that, and also it's something which is not feasible for people who are in the Western countries or more developed countries. Like surviving on $1,000 or $1,500. So it's kind of that's why you see more Indians there. That's what I feel.
I did not see that. I did not see it this way because, of course, like it's very hard to see outside of your sort of scope, right? Especially in my
Yeah,
country,
yeah, yeah.
we never think, oh yeah, but in their countries like this, or this is happening there. We never go outside of our thinking, and I think that this also impacts, especially in our civilization, like in the sort of Western society. It also impacts the way in which we build projects, right? I hear a lot of people building projects and doing things to solve issues that they have, right? And like a lot of people stop going to medical school and they stop going to other stuff because they have issues, maybe monetary issues, uh, or maybe they just want to change something. They find a problem which they want to solve and they solve it. And like the difference which I see is that here we do this, so we see our problem and we try to solve it. But also in your blog, one thing which I read is that you understood that other people had problems as well, right? And solving other people's problem would be a good strategy for like even just developing your application.
Yeah, I also feel like it might be a kind of luxury, like you guys can like because once you're financially like well off, you might not like know the difference, but like uh, as I said, like $500 a month is the average income of anyone who graduates. Meanwhile, in like Western countries, it's like easily around 3,000 or $2,500. So when you are like better off, and also the standard of living is better. It's just not just the difference in currency, but also a better standard. So I feel like it's the luxury which comes with a better lifestyle that you try to solve problems. Like you can afford to be not successful at something.
It's very good to see it this way as well. It's very good. Thanks for sharing this, really. And
Yeah, no problem.
as you said before, like even just the time in which you're in college, so you don't really have a job to care about yet. You sort of have this sort of time freedom, we could say, in which you can dedicate that much time to creating something. It's probably like it's a situation which a lot of people face, and uh, I think that like in the way education and everything else is built, you sort of like most people sort of miss out on this opportunity, like on the opportunity of having nothing to lose, especially when in college. And so I wanted
Yes,
to
yes, 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 exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to know like if it was you who organized education, right? How would you change it, especially for people of our age? Like, I really want to know your take.
I'm too selfish, to think about others. But yeah, maybe I would like bring more entrepreneurship, classes and make them more, like less lenient on a job. I mean, less reliant on a job, and try to remove the fear because I feel it's more about the fear, the sense of security a job gives. That's what people are chasing, because they do not trust themselves. Uh, and I remember like yes, there was like I was free, but it's because of that I didn't want a job. That's why I got into this. And also, I didn't go to any classes for 1 year. Like I think I went only to one class, just one lecture. And because I had made a decision that even if I fail, you know, it's not something I want. So I have to, keep doing what I like what I want, and give 100% to something which I'm trying, instead of like giving half to something which I don't want.
What you're saying here, I think, is really valuable, and I get inspired on what you say. So, I like the phrase that where you're saying that people are chasing jobs because of the security, and then they don't trust themselves, or
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah. That's what I
confident.
feel.
That's I never thought it that way, but I think that's a great.
I
That's really
also feel like people who go into service industries, marketing for others, because they do not trust themselves, to do it for themselves. Especially now, like earlier, they were like big companies, which were not like digital, like. But now, like it's possible for anyone to create his own business without much, without much investment or without much effort. E-commerce, anyone can start it, and like without any capital investment. And people are not doing that and providing services for others. It's also like I feel, that it's because somewhere they don't trust themselves. Like
that's a really good.
if it's like because service is something you cannot scale.
Mm.
You cannot provide services to like millions of clients or something. But products you can do that. Like when you start automating stuff, that's something you can do that. And also with the service, the thing is that why would you like, because I believe that marketing is one of the most important part into making any business successful. So why would you do the most important part and only take a percentage instead of keep doing it for yourself and keeping all of it? That's what I like. It's not something I have not done, because like even I've done like freelancing for others, but yeah, I deep down I feel that that that's when I'm not trusting myself.
I'm actually learning a
It's not
lot.
like it's not like I'm like fearless, some like fearless person who always trusts himself and stuff like that. But yeah, like I try to be honest with myself.
No, that's really great. I mean, thank you for sharing that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will feel in a similar way on what you're saying. But
Yeah, like it's hard to change it later on in life, because then you have like a proper structure and like a family to support. But if you're if you're picking it early on when you're like really young, then that's when you have to ask this question, like like why is it? Because I don't trust myself that I'm like trying to play on someone else's money, and not gamble it and keep it all for myself, like the profit.
I remember that you mostly said you did a lot of work on by yourself, but as like me and Matt, we're partners, founding this company. And I was wondering, when you look for partners, what's your priority? Like, what do you look for as a partner? And then what's a red flag? Like, this is something that I would not work with, this person.
Yeah, yeah. So with this email marketing project, I'm doing it in partnership with two developers. We had already worked on my music app, because they were the ones who started integrating the radio stuff. And yeah, so like there has to be trust. That I mean, I knew that they can do the job and they are regular. Like they are not someone who just gave up on a project. And they had to trust me in knowing that okay, I can do the marketing part. Yeah, so like mostly it's trust and like their work ethic. Everything else I feel like for me can be negotiated. Even if you like don't like each other or don't like their working style, you don't have to like really kind of uh, understand their style, but just that if they can deliver, that's what works for me.
Mm, that's cool. So when you ever have like a discussion with your partners, how do you usually solve that? Do you just listen to each other and then come up with a solution, or
Yeah, I try to give them like we do have technical discussions, because since I also code, but I trust them into like making the correct decision, because like we have like created responsibilities for every person. And yeah, so their responsibility is like doing the technical stuff. And I know they are not the best at what they do, but I know that they will try their best. Even I know that I'm not the best at marketing or something, like, because there are many people who are making like millions a month or like promoting stuff, but I can only do which is best according to my capabilities. So I trust them that they will do that.
You sound like a really great leader. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, many times I don't feel like that because sometimes I do get frustrated, that. Yeah, but yeah.
I see that you have a really cool map behind you. Um, I was wondering if you were planning. I know you're planning to go to Spain, but do you have any plans that are coming to Italy or like the U.S.?
US not right now, but yeah, maybe in the future.
And Ankit, I want to wrap this up, and I think that one of the best ways to do so would be, since you have experience. I mean, and you have experience in marketing, and you know how to get something to people, right? And I wanted to hear from you a little bit of like the reason on your blog, and I'm going to leave for everyone watching and hearing the podcast links to the blog page because I think it's truly amazing. But I wanted to hear a bit more of your view on how to get something, maybe like an application, as you said, or maybe like an e-commerce store to people.
Uh, how to get started quickly into it, or like what do you?
Getting people to know about your product and getting people to know about your application. So maybe Google ads, maybe Facebook ads, maybe SEO. Uh,
Yeah, especially like what I try to do is like create things which I know I can sell. I won't like I do not trust myself that I can sell anything. I would like only go into stuff which I feel like I can sell. Like for example, this email application. You know, I knew that like as I said that I was doing e-commerce, but I never tried email marketing because I knew that it's like to get into it, the barrier is too high. And I like asked around of like in a few communities, and yeah, many of them were not doing it, but like most of them are just doing like ads. So that's when I felt that okay, like I didn't do a proper research, but that's when I like had a gut feeling that yeah, this is something which many people need. And so like my focus has been in making it like the easiest product in the market to get started with, and to run campaigns as well, and also like one of the most like detailed products, not just like something on the surface. So yeah, a product has to be good, and then like the market fit has to be right, and the things which I'm doing, which I'll be doing for promoting this app is like we have a Discord server, like 2 Discord servers, and there we discuss about e-commerce, and I try to give all the information and resources like themes and all for free, which I purchased myself. And so those will be the initial downloads, which I'm expecting. Like there are like 1,000 people in the servers, so I'm expecting like around 20 to 50 installs to come from there, like users. And then we collected, like we created a bot which uh, went through and collected the emails of all the Shopify stores. So we have a database of 1.4 million Shopify stores and their emails. I know like it might be spammy, like many people might feel spammy, but I don't care about that. Yeah. And it will be just like 1 or 2 emails, so I don't think it's considered spam, unless you're like harassing people with it. And then like on Fiverr, there are people who are providing services which are related to Shopify. So I will be called like they're like around 5,000 people or something. So like I or someone from my team will be contacting every one of them and trying to get them into affiliate marketing for a product. Like we will say, okay, you're already making 100 stores a month. I mean, 100 stores a year. And if you just include our app without any extra effort, you'll be making like $1,000 a month. without doing anything else. With that, like that will be our pitch. And then we have a database of all the Facebook groups and all the YouTubers which are related to e-commerce and Shopify and platforms like this, like all the uh, like all the links, like all the groups and all. Yeah, so that is the strategy initially, and then whoever comes to our website, we retarget them with Facebook ads and Google ads if possible. And once we start getting sales, we will create a lookalike audience for Facebook, and then target them.
So you're not starting from advertising. Like you're starting from not from a usual advertising, at least not from Facebook and Google, right?
Yeah. Like, because as I said, about the trust thing. So you always don't know that this will work out. So I try to keep the uh, paid ways, because I don't have unlimited money and I'm not like funded or anything. So I try to keep the paid ways till the end. Like the paid methods, I try to use them in the end. At least when I have like a few, like users and a good source. It wasn't so in e-commerce, but in everything else I do, I try to do it this way, so that you don't end up burn money and like feeling devastated. And I feel like easily through this way, through the email marketing stuff, even if I convert 0.1 percentage, it will be like 1,400 users, and I feel 1.1% is something which can be done if we like create case studies and do it properly. And 0.1 percentage, like 0.1 percentage of the people would mean that 1,400 people are using it, and it would mean approximately $30,000 in per month in like sales, which can be then put into ads.
Wow, that's a completely different strategy from the usual. That's very new to me, just hearing about it. And like you have the dedication. You keep doing this. You have you know that you have to put in the work, and even for the application, like you're reached out, you keep reaching out to people. You do the free marketing part well, and it's really amazing. I mean, it works out, right? It works out to start with
Yeah,
people,
it
and
works
then
out. Something or the other works out always. Like if you're like willing to do everything, then of course it will work out. Like you just have to, like, even if it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't matter. If you don't give up and you know that the product is good.
all right. I think you can wrap this up, Drew.
Yeah. I think I asked all the questions I had, and I really thank you very much. This was one of my best interviews. I learned a lot from what you said, and I really feel it. Based on my experience, and I always say this, but I really do respect and admire people who made it to a level where they built your own company. So thank you very much. This was
Yeah,
really
thank you
fun.
for having me. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure for me.
Thanks everyone for listening. This was episode 3 of Innected with Ankit Srivastava. If you enjoyed the episode and you want to see more similar content, you should check out our YouTube channel or our podcast profiles. Of course, after that, if you're serious about it, you should definitely come hang with us on the Discord. You're going to meet guests, other people like you, and you can have a talk with us. We're always open, and we always love to discuss business and ideas. To find it, simply go on our website, innectedpodcast.com, or check our social media profiles. Have a great day, and see you soon!